as our buddy Gabe is feeling a little bit down under the weather. Gabe, hopefully you feel better. Well wishes to you, our man. But we are here to talk about an actual fun series for once, where the D-backs swept the Colorado Rockies. You don't have to worry about any kind of down, downside to any of the series. They take all three against the worst team in baseball. And again, while I know there's a lot of jokes, maybe playoffs are back on the menu, maybe there's a shot. Still a long way to go, but if there was any chance of this happening, this was the start they needed, as they did take, obviously all three against the Rockies. Before we kind of dive in on everything and we go game by game and talk about some of the things that stood out to us, I want to welcome you all in here. Disruptive, appreciate you stopping by. Anybody else that's in the YouTube live chat, thank you guys for tuning on in. Or if you're on the Spotify, Apple side and listening to us after the fact on there, we appreciate you guys as well. If you are on the YouTube side, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe on the video itself, not just comment in the live chat, but comment on the video. It does help the algorithm. Make sure you guys go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and while you're on the Twitter side, if you've not yet joined the Discord, it is our pinned tweet. It is free. You don't got to pay a single cent to join. Come on in there, especially with when games are going on. It's actually popping, and a great place to be. And then also make sure you guys go on over to azsnakepit.com. Check out all the great content over there. There's a lot of great writers that put out a lot of great stuff, whether you're looking for some game day articles, where a lot of the writers are in there kind of like reacting, kind of like what we do in our Discord, but they're on the Snake Pit. They're over there. We got our man who's in the Discord, Jeff Irving, does a lot of article recaps and just a lot of great in-depth dive articles as well there. And there's some other, whatever you're looking for, they will have some written content over on the Snake Pit. So again, azsnakepit.com. It's a place that every D-backs fan should be. But let's just dive right in on to things here. Friday night, this Serpientes City Connects night was, as we mentioned in the last pod, Zach Gallen versus Austin Gomber. Coughing Baby versus Coughing Baby. And the D-backs Coughing Baby came out on top in this one, thankfully. He went... Checking the notes here. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned runs, 3 walks. Still has a walk problem, but you know what? Not many of them came around to score. I don't think any of the walks came around to score. And he struck out 6, like I said, over 6 innings, which is really nice. Austin Gomber was only able to go, or Austin Gomber went 6 innings as well, but he gave up 6 earned runs. 2 home runs, 1 to Blaze Alexander and 1 to Corbin Carroll, an absolute fucking moonshot that he sent to pretty much Pluto. But the D-backs offense did their job, and then Zach Gallen, the bullpen, went the rest of the way. Gallen, Graveman, Saul Frank, and Casey Kelly went the entire 9 innings. Gallen was the only one that allowed any kind of earned runs, and Casey Kelly was the only one that allowed a walk. So the bullpen locked it down. The D-backs do go on to win this thing 6-1, like I said. Marte went 1 for 2. He had a couple walks, a 2 run scored. Carroll went 1 for 4, but an absolute piss missile moonshot. He hit that thing 109 miles an hour, 109.5 mile an hour off the bat, and it went 424. It literally disappeared off of the screen for a few minutes there before the ball even landed. So that was great to see from him.
Yeah, they had to aim it like the camera had to go like this, like. That's how high he hit it. It was beautiful.
Literally, like it was way higher than I've ever seen him hit a ball. And even after he kind of like swung, he kind of like it looked like maybe he was either off balance or whatnot. He kind of like stuttered a little bit. I even think he was surprised. Was like, holy shit, I hit that thing way up in the fucking air. The team didn't have too many opportunities with runners in scoring position, but one of them, like I said, Blaze Alexander, who was actually scorching in this game, which we'll have a little more on him in a minute. He drove in 3 on a bases clearing double in the first, so he was one of the hits with runners in scoring position, and then he had a solo shot going the opposite field in the second or in the 4th inning for his second home run of the season. 100 miles an hour off the bat, so really nice to see from Blaze going to both sides of the field. He's been actually playing really well as of late. I believe I'm checking his stats right now to confirm. But over his last 7 games, he's hitting .417 with a .533 on base and a .750 slug. So he has absolutely been blazing it up over there, which we love to see. But like I said, just a really good team effort in here. The offense did enough to where Zach Gallen and the rest of the bullpen didn't really have to worry too much going up against a pretty weak Rockies offense. And they do, I would say, dominate pretty much from beginning to close and win this one 6-1. So with all things considered, obviously there's some standouts, Blaze and Gallen specifically. What stood out to you in this series, or in this game 1 here? What did you like? What did you like, especially for me? I think it would be Zach Gallen. Back-to-back quality starts coming out of coming out of the trade deadline, especially against a team like the Rockies, who he struggled against this year. It was really nice to see him not have the same issues. So, what stood out to you, Brandon? What did you like here in game 1?
Definitely Gallen, for sure. I was really impressed. Like, I was very like. the way this team has gone, they're going to find a way to lose one of these games to the Rockies, and it's just going to be so frustrating because I know how good this team is. They just, unfortunately, they have not played consistently well the entire year. So, but the fact that Gallen and his 2 starts since the trade deadline has looked like a guy that maybe some teams should have traded for. I get why Hazen probably didn't trade him because I'm pretty sure it would have been only for like a high A guy, and if you trade him, like you literally have what 2 guys in your starting rotation that you trust, and that was Fott and Nelly. So now that you have 3, not too bad. Also, Blaze has been absolutely amazing. It's such a shock that when you have a young guy who's still developing, you play them every day and you start to see how it is beneficial. That's all I'm gonna say. Blaze has been tearing it up since they traded Gino, which it's kind of funny. Like if you look at the stats, Blaze has played a lot better than Gino has since he got traded. But yeah, it was really solid there for Gallen. Like you said, the 3 walks.
Gino trade, right? You're already saying we're the victors in that. I'm just
Of course. That's the only way they go. No, I think for me the big one for Blaze was that double in the first. We had bases loaded, but there were 2 outs, and I'm like, the way this team goes, the situational hitting is just not. It's not going to work out for this team. But I was like, okay, Blaze, I know it's the first inning. You can't say it's a clutch hit, but it kind of is when you have runners on base. Like when you have runners in scoring position, for me, that's anytime that you get a hit there, that's a clutch hit. So congrats there to Blaze for really breaking the game open early there. And then in the next inning, Gallen gives up a run. I'm like, why does he do this? Every time that we score, he feels the need to give back. But that was pretty much his only rough part of the game. He got the strikeouts in this one. Like, if Gallen can do this every 5th day, like 6 innings, less than 3 runs, then again, I know it's bold. I know it is. Or play it like that wild card. Like we've seen crazier things happen the last 60 games of a season. We have seen crazy things happen. So
yeah, so there's definitely been crazier endings, especially I think it was a tweet from I think it was Landon or I'm sorry, the Corbin Carroll enthusiast account about the Tigers at this point last year and where the Dbacks were at this point this year. Some similarities, but again, a long way to go. But hey, you know what? You got to start somewhere, and a series win here in Game 1, or a win here in Game 1 to start off the series, which led to a sweep, was the best way, and it does go a long way. Like you said with Gallen, who knows? Maybe he's pitching. He's realized like, you know what? I'm gonna be a free agent anyway. I'm at best going to get a qualifying offer at this rate. Maybe I should pitch better to maybe even if I get like a 2-3 year deal with an opt out, kind of like an Alex Bregman. Who knows? Maybe he's kind of stepping up and locking in. Either way, it's beneficial to this team going forward, especially if even while probably just a pipe dream and probably very unlikely, if it makes the end of the season at least a little bit more watchable and we're not just here worrying about like, oh, cool, what draft position are we going to get? I'd rather enjoy watching this team win games than. Yeah. Oh, cool, I can't wait to see us have a 10% odds at the first pick, and we still get slotted pick number like 13 or some dumb shit. But yeah, so looking at some of the comments in our chat here, we have our lovely producer Josh saying, after series against the Colorado Rockies, I'm happy to say we are so back, no further analysis needed. And I think that's, yeah, you know what? I'm with Josh on there. We've never been more back. We beat the absolute juggernauts that were the 80-plus loss Colorado Rockies. So, you know, at least they're taking care of, teams they should take care of, because they have not had the best track record this year with beating teams under 500. So it's nice to see them actually do that. Jeff is saying in the comments here, I believe in regards to obviously us joking about winning the Gino trade, saying the value of the turn had to be greater than the qualifying offer comp pick, which will likely be in the 28 to 32 overall range. So definitely won't see for probably at least a while there if we actually won this trade or not, but at least we did get Locklear, who's Major League ready, and we don't have to worry about a comp pick, which will take 2, 3, 4 years to actually get to the
unless Seattle wins the World Series, I think that's the only way that they win that trade, personally.
Their lineup's really good now too. I saw a stat where Cole Young got his WRC plus over 100, to where every single person in the Mariners lineup has a WRC plus over 100. Just absolutely insane lineup. It's nice to see our boys Josh and Gino kind of slugging over there, so good for them. Tommy Jr. in the chat saying Lourdes Legacy series for real. We'll have more on our Lourdes and Savior too, which that caption got so many people um, in an
I
uproar.
was wondering if you're gonna bring that up.
Oh,
I was
100%.
wondering.
I'll definitely talk about that more in a little bit in game two. But yeah, Lourdes went off the series, which is really nice. He's been absolutely hot. Just going through. Hopefully he can play like this the rest of the year, and we don't see him go through his 2-3 week stretch where he has like 3 hits and they're all singles. And don't see much else, because if he's gonna be hitting in that DH spot, we need him to be playing like he is. But my man Corbin Barrel's in here. What's up? The Randall trade definitely won. Hoffman is an absolute dog. Yeah, Hoffman's looking really good. Honestly, I think that's another thing. That for I know I was even making jokes when it happened. Like, I can't wait to see what kind of quadruple A player they get in return. Hoffman's looking really solid, especially for a guy like Randall, who I don't think any of us really expected much of a return on. So it's really nice to see them get Hoffman in return, and we'll have a little bit more on him here in a minute. But then even Jeff is saying, Jeff was saying that was apparently in regards to the Gallon trade. Why they didn't trade him. Speaking of Gino trade, really like what they saw from Burgos. Filthy, filthy stuff. Yeah, Burgos, we'll talk about him in a minute. He looked pretty solid there in game two. It's really nice to see Hazen really addressed the needs that the team had, which was bullpen, and especially getting some more nice younger arms, which, you know what, maybe we can finally say Mike Hazen had a really solid deadline as a seller, but I still think we have like another year or two to really be able to say, hey, you know what,
Yeah.
that was a win or not. But also, Red Sox Nation, welcome on in. Appreciate you, Barrels, everyone else stopping by here. But yeah, say game one here, absolute beauty to see. Like I said, I was at the bar plant, or I was at the Oso Brewery with some of my friends. I was sipping on some of my NAs, watching the game. I had the same thoughts where we got the 3 runs. Like Brandon said, that 2-out hit was absolutely clutch. I had the same feeling. I'm like, cool, bases loaded. I can't wait to see us not get a single run here, probably strike out and pop out. But Blaze came through. Then immediately when Zach gave up a run, I'm like, cool, is this going to be one of those games? Like, really? Are we going to do another Saturday night against the Rockies where it's just like 10, 15 runs back and forth? But thankfully, we didn't have to worry about that, and the D-backs did kind of cruise through the rest of this game. And then especially, that Corbin Carroll, that was now his second game in a row with a home run. And an absolute monster shot. So that was great to see from him. But moving on into game two, like I said, needed a sweep at minimum to keep all of our hopes live. This is what we were looking for, and they kept that going into game two here against the Rockies, where it was a little bit of a closer game, obviously, than I think a lot of us expected. D-Backs got one in the first inning on Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He had a single. He looked pretty solid there. He's now hitting like 267, 281 with a 500 slug over his last 7, which is nice to see. It's still a lot better than what we sometimes get from Lourdes. But he put us ahead early, and then looked like Eduardo Rodriguez. There was a fun stat from Jesse Friedman. Shout out Jesse, by the way. Absolute great reporter for the D-backs. Eduardo Rodriguez is trying to beat Madison Bumgarner in the race for worst lefty contract in D-backs history, because he immediately gave up 3 runs to the Rockies in the top of the second, 2-run home run to Brenton Doyle, and then a single to Kyle Farmer that made it 3-1. Rockies added another one in the third inning, Warming Bernabel, which is absolute name. Love that name. Rockies were up 4-1. But the D-backs thankfully didn't just lay down and die. Ketel Marte doubled home a doubled home Corbin Carroll to make it 4-2, and then Corbin Carroll ended up later tying the game after the D-backs were down 4-3. He hit his 25th home run of the season. That was now 3 straight games with the home run, which I believe was a career a career best 3 in a row, and he also
Correct.
a career high. So he's now matched his career high, I believe, that he set in 2023, which is just absolutely fantastic. The fact that he has a chance to get to like 30+ home runs for a guy that I don't think a lot of people and scouts had him necessarily as a pop guy. I mean, even this one was 107 miles an hour, 437 feet off the bat, which was absolutely spectacular. But like I said, the D-backs ended up tying it, and then they went ahead. Adrian Del Castillo, swinging a pretty hot bat lately. He had a go-ahead double to make it 5-4 D-backs. The Rockies, sadly, would not go down quietly. They immediately tied up in the 6th inning. And then the score held there for the rest of the game until the 9th inning, where Geraldo Perdomo, who's been absolutely scorching hot as well since the All-Star break, he's hitting 444, 531, and 556 over his last 7, but hitting 302, 415, and 415 over his last 15 games. And even if you go to his last 30, dude, he's at a 321 average, a 427 on base, and a 459 slug. So Perdomo's just been, Frog Domo in his best form. He's been absolutely killing it lately. He got a double, and then Gurriel drove him home. Our Lourdes and Savior got an absolute hanger of a curveball right down the middle and walked things off here as the D-backs officially won the series. And they took home a very close game there. But thankfully, even like Jeff said, kind of alluded to it, Erod sucked, but guys like Burgess, Backus, Saul Frank, and even Andrew Hoffman, they were really solid in this one. None of them even allowed a single earned run. There's only 3 hits total, and then a couple strikeouts, especially again from Burgos. He got a pretty solid debut for the D-backs. I believe he actually allowed 1 run to come across from Erod, so it's technically on Erod's record, but he allowed the run to score. But either way, the bullpen looked pretty solid there, and the D-backs barely snuck out a win. But hey, a win is a win is a win. Passing it on to you, Brandon. Here now, I've been obviously going off a little bit. What stood out to you in Game 2? Here, there's a lot of good. Obviously, Corbin, Gurriel, Perdomo, even ADC. There was a little bit of bad with Eduardo Rodriguez. What did you like a lot in here in Game 2? What kind of stood out to you? What did you want to discuss here on that second game of the series?
So I just kind of want to just talk about the game in general. I was a little nervous with Burgos when he first came in because he's like very, very wild. I was like, oh no, did we get fleeced in this? But I was like, first couple batters, it's your it's your D-back debut. You got jitters. He locked in and he got 2 really good strikeouts. So I was like, okay. So another one of these guys that Hazen got that can help this bullpen right now, which is what I wanted. Like, I'm like, if we're going to sell, he needed to get guys that can either help us this year or next year. Like, I don't want anyone that's, it's going to be great in 28 and 29. I'm like, I don't care about that. So I'm glad that so far it looks like we gotten some pretty solid arms. Garcia looked good, struggled. Hoffman's been just lights. Like, Hoffman's been nasty. That kick change is something special. Congrats to Carroll for setting a career high with a homer in 3 straight games. It definitely looks like his wrist is healing a lot better. I know everyone was like, why did he come back so soon? He's going to re-hurt it. But basically what they said is it wasn't going to get worse. And at the time, they were pretty close to the wild card. And it looks like it's truly fully healed because he's looked really good the last week. I'm glad that Gurriel's hitting because he has to. He is going to be our cleanup hitter. There's nobody else to put there, so he needs to play well. He's played really good defense the last week too.
Yeah, he was on fire this series.
He's just like, he doesn't. It doesn't look smooth sometimes when he makes some of these plays, but he gets the job done. I was at the game. Was that Friday? No. It might have been Wednesday. He made a play, and he was standing next to Jorge Barosa. It looks like a dad and a kid because Barosa's like 5'6", Gurriel's like 6'2", and it's just like he just towers over him. I thought that his double in the 9th might get caught because I'm like, it wasn't hit super hard, so he can get back there. And just I thought this was a good game. Erod, though. If he could just stop missing in the middle of the plate.
When he misses bad.
Oh, so Tommy Jr. says he's 6'4". So that just makes the height difference even more crazy with Barosa and Gurriel. If he's 6'4", not 6'2".
That is actually pretty crazy. I didn't realize he's that tall.
Yeah. Like, Erod is, like, if he can live on the corners and the edge, it's fine. But he's been missing so much, and it's center cut, and he just gets wrecked. So that's... But we don't have a choice. Like, we're really stuck on that contract. And with us not having Burns next year, and the fact that they're going to be cutting payroll next year, which, to me,
surprise me.
It makes sense. Because there's too much that they would have to bring in to really compete. And you have a lot of guys that are probably not going to be back till, I think, earliest this time next year. If we're lucky, Burns and Jamar are mid-August, personally. So
That's
like,
if we're lucky. Yeah, they might even
yeah,
be like closer to September.
yeah. So I think that's just like being super optimistic about it. So I think Gurriel is gonna exercise his player option personally, and I don't know how I feel about it because when he is playing well, I like it. It's when he's not, like swinging at the first pitch, grinding into double plays, which we brought up I think on the show last
Last
time.
play,
Like
yeah.
I thought he was way higher on that list. I really did. I thought
Same.
he was in the top five. No, he's on there more than I would like, but it wasn't as high.
It's about league average, I'd say
Yeah,
almost. Maybe a little higher than league average, but it's not. I think it's just because it's in so many clutch situations that we're like we feel like it's more.
yeah. Um, but no, I thought like with this series, I didn't know what to expect because really the team doesn't really have a lot to play for, and there's certain series where it looks like they've checked out. Like it was you or Gabe who brought it up, senioritis. Like it truly that's what it looks like in certain series, and I'm wondering if that's when they play teams that they know are better than them. So like Houston, Detroit, San Diego. I'm wondering if it's going to happen against Texas here. These next three games, like
It's so weird
they,
seeing Merrill too. By the way, I already hate
yeah,
that. I hate
yeah.
that.
So, but hey, we won game two. I'm glad that they were able to get it done. Am I the only one that laughs when Jerry runs because it looks like Jack Sparrow running?
He really does look like Jack Sparrow running.
On that double in the ninth, that's what it looked. I was like, it looks so weird, but he got the job done.
Yeah, so he definitely runs in a goofy way. But hey, you know what? If he keeps hitting the way he's been hitting over his last 30 games, brother can literally run like a goddamn Titan from Attack on Titan for all I care. If it means that he's gonna play at the caliber he is, because he is a franchise cornerstone that we have locked down for a long time, at least for another like 5-6 years minimum. Where hopefully it'll be kind of like the Cattell situation where they give him another payday, keep him a Dimeback for his entire career, because we deserve to see Domo play as a Dimeback his entire career, retire as a Dimeback, especially the way he's been playing. Like he is a top five shortstop in baseball. But yeah, on the topic of Gurriel, I do agree. I think it'll be interesting. Like if he plays well, maybe he opts out. But it seems like he kind of I think he likes it here in general. And again, even if he plays well, some team might not give him the kind of money that his contract if he just opts in. Or if he avoids the opt out, they might not give him the exact money that he's going to be guaranteed anyway. So it might be one of those where he's like, is a few $1 million really worth, or a few more $1 million really worth, like maybe uprooting my family when we've already, like, because I think he already has a home here, obviously. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just ends up saying, staying, which I don't necessarily hate, because even like you're saying, we don't really have many outfielders that are ready now to fully step up and take his spot right away, especially if we probably move on from a guy like Jake McCarthy in the offseason, trade him away. I mean, I don't really know if I want Jake McCarthy to get full. Tommy, you have a good one, sir. We appreciate you stopping by for a little bit
Yeah.
that you could be in
Thanks,
here.
man.
But thank you very much for tuning on in here. But yeah, say the Gurriel situation will be definitely one that we monitor through the rest of the season. Because as you said, we need him to hit the way he's been hitting if he's going to be in the middle of our lineup. He needs to be the run producing guy that he definitely can be at times, and just avoid those really, really cold streaks that we see him go through at times. But looking back into some of our comments, obviously want to address some of the things you guys are saying. Sal, welcome in, by the way. Appreciate you stopping by as well. He's saying, is Blaze playing good enough to DFA Pavin when he comes back? Nowhere for him to play in the outfield, and Locklear's locked in at first base. That one, sadly, I don't think is ever going to happen. I don't think they're just going to DFA Pavin. Like, there's no shot. I agree with Red Sox Nation saying that I think it is. I think if I was, if the fans had the choice, I think Pavin would have already been DFA'd, and I think he would be.
A long time ago, by the
A long
way.
time ago,
If it
but
was up to you.
I sadly don't think that'll happen. I think they'll find, especially if Gabby comes back soon, maybe they'll try to find a way to like DFA Herrera for a few games and let James McCann be the solo catcher, and then if Gabby comes back a little bit after that, figure something else out there. But they'll probably figure out a way to have Pavin and Locklear switch situations. But even our man Jeff Irving's bringing up in the comments saying, according to many, ADC is being sent back down as soon as Pavin is done with his rehab assignment. Thoughts? I say we revolt, and I fully agree. Like again, I know it's in a small sample side, and he's had a few games, especially against Mason Miller, where he looked tough. But nobody's really going to look good against a guy that throws 104, other than Gurriel on that at bat. But I mean, I think that's just going to be what happens, unfortunately, because ADC has options, Pavin doesn't. They're not going to DFA Pavin as much as we all want it. Like it'd be an off-season trade or an off-season, something. They're gonna get something for Pavin Smith. They're not just going to DFA him, unfortunately. So we kind of have to just suffer with it. And I don't think it's the best thing, but they love Pavin. When he's playing well, he's a pretty good hitter, but I still think he's a pretty mediocre hitter at best. So we kind of just got to suffer through.
He's league average for me.
He's league average, which again he's still like, and that's the thing is we're just again I'm not a professional athlete. Me calling somebody league average not good is like it's like well what room do I have to talk? Which is a very fair point because even guys that make the major league level are doing things that like 98 to 99% of the population on planet Earth can't even do. So they're still good players in itself, but I just don't think he's deserving of a spot if we have guys that like if Locklear can kind of play at the pedigree that he's expected to, if Blaze can keep playing the way he's going to, and if ADC can be like the DH that we need and actually be like a power guy. We don't really have much room for Pavin, but I think that'll be something that we kind of see the answer to next season after the season is finished, after we've had an off season, because they're not going to DFA him. But yeah, so the game two, there's a lot of good there, and especially the fans online calling the Dbacks social media team blasphemous and just whining and fucking.
They were cooking this every when they posted a clip. The freaking caption was so freaking great. Like
the captions were 10 out of 10, but like them putting our Lord and Savior that's a good play on words. It's funny as hell, and the people that were like genuinely offended. Brother, please go outside, get some sun, stop being online. Like I promise you, it's not that deep. There's no reason to be adding the DUS admin being like, oh, this is blasphemy. This isn't it, guys. This isn't right, brother. Let's be real here. Come on, relax a little bit. It's a baseball team just having some fun. No need to stand on the soapbox and be like, this is blasphemy. Calm, just relax, bring it down. But yeah, so game two, it was really nice to see, especially I think I was on my way home from work last night after I saw that. So it was nice because I got off and I think they were tied 4-4, and I'm like, please don't lose a game to the Rockies. And then when I was in the middle of driving home, I saw the notification on my watch that popped up that they walked it off. So it was really nice to see, and just good overall to see some good vibes continuing to flow through this team. Because again, yes, it is the Rockies, but they definitely needed it, and they thankfully kept that energy kind of rolling into today's game because the offense, oh boy, this was a hit fest for both teams involved. Both teams had over 16 hits involved. Rockies had 16, Dbacks had 17. The Dbacks were the only ones that were able to bring around any runs. The Dbacks got the scoring started early. It was kind of nice to see. The first two batters of the game, Carroll and Marte, both got out. But then Perdomo had a single, Gurriel got hit by a pitch, and then ADC went, who had three hits in his 5 at-bats today, went yard for his first home run of the 2025 campaign. That ball was sent 403 feet and 108 miles or 103.8 miles an hour off the bat. And it wasn't like it was a terrible pitch either. It was all in all, it was a slider just low in on the hands. He just got the barrel to the ball and just turned on it and just absolutely crushed it. So he gave the D-backs an early lead. Unfortunately, Brandon Pfaadt, not fully on Brandon Pfaadt. Yes, he did give up a few hits that led to some runners being on. But a really weird hit from Adel Amador. It had a lot of topspin that Locklear, I would say misplayed. It wasn't a great play from him, but again, it happens every now and then. It was just a really weird hit ball. Had a lot of topspin. Gets by him. Rocky scored 2, but thankfully a relay from outfield to Cattell to Blaze at third cuts down Amador at third. Rockies don't score anything from there. Cattell Marte does get one of the runs back. He had a single on a ground ball to right fielder. Made it 4-2. Then Alec Thomas, the young king, hit a ball to the first baseman. He couldn't handle it and get a good grip on the ball. He kind of threw it past the pitcher. So with 2 outs with 2 outs and the bases loaded, Alec came through, scored a run. But that 5th inning was crazy because all with 2 outs, I believe they had 8 straight singles. 9 straight singles. Thank you, Brandon. 9 straight singles. So it wasn't like with the first inning where it's like a single hit by pitch and then a home run. 9 straight singles, all with 2 outs, led to a very big rally as the D-backs ended up going into that inning leading 4-3, and they left that inning leading
Eight to
uh,
3.
8-3. Yeah, no, it was 12-3. They scored 8 in the or in the fifth inning alone. They were leading
Oh, shit.
12-3. Rockies got 1 or 3 in the seventh inning to kind of bring it a little bit closer, but thankfully they don't really have the best offense in the league. And they were able to, kind of limit them. They got another one in the seventh inning, but it was really a all around great effort from that offense because, like I said, Alec Thomas had an RBI single, James McCann had an RBI single, Blaze had an RBI single, Corbin Carroll had an RBI single, Ketel Marte had an RBI double, and then even Perdomo had an RBI single. So that was a very very crazy fifth inning there. To see them bat around and put up 8 runs is very huge. Again, yes, it's the Rockies. There's that caveat, but still, it's nice to see them just kind of overall show out. Brandon Pfaadt, while it didn't look the greatest, he gave up 11 hits over 5 innings, 3 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts, but he didn't walk anybody, which I think that's a big win. It's always nice to see them limit the walks. The season areas down to 503. Beeks went 1 inning. Gave up 2 hits but didn't surrender a run. And then Kendall Graven was the only kind of downside out of the bullpen. He's been pretty rough this season. He went in an inning. Total gave up 3 hits in 17 and 2/3 innings this year. He has a 7.13 ERA with a 1.98 WHIP. So one of the only offseason signings that the D-backs had for the bullpen is just not panning out at all. Is looking absolutely brutal for them. But either way, all in all, just an absolute W around. The offense really showed out, and I think that's the big key to this one. And especially, I think for me, the one that kind of started it all off was ADC getting those 3 runs because we were this close to having another. Cool. The team was terrible with runners in scoring position, but I mean, even speaking of that, they went 10 for 15 with runners in scoring position today. That is borderline unheard of for this 2025 squad. It was a treat. It was a treat to a lot of D-backs fans after what we've kind of seen the last few months. But Brandon, throwing it on over to you, my friend. In this Game 3 finale that the D-backs did end up sweeping the Rockies, what stood out to you? Obviously, that fifth inning, the 8 runs alone, that's going to be one that a lot of people probably point to. But for you, what kind of stood out in the box score with all of the chaos that was happening there on offense?
That fifth inning is just absolutely ridiculous. Just single after single after single. Like, I was watching, like, once they got the lead, I'm like, all right, sweet, we're good. You guys are hitting with runners and scoring, but this is great. And it just kept going. It was literally a merry-go-round. It's like, all right, next guy up, get a single. Like, literally 9 straight singles. That is absolutely insane. Franchise record, by the way. 9 straight hits with 2 outs. Which I wasn't surprised by their numbers with runners in scoring position. When you have 9 straight hits with 2 outs,
Yeah.
probably had a decent amount of those was with runners in scoring position. ADC had a fantastic day. I really love to see it. He played well the last 2 days, so I'm like, oh, shocker. Again, a young, developing player. Have them play consistently. And seriously, like, it's just, like, how do you expect these guys to play well when you play them once a week? Which, from it sounds like ADC may only be up here for probably 3 or 4 more days after Pavin has a couple of games in Reno, which sucks for ADC because literally before I think his pinch hit at bat against the Padres a couple of days, he literally hadn't played in a week, which I'm just like, what do you expect him to do? Just randomly come off the bench and hit an absolute nuke? No, like, it's just not. Jerry's been on a freaking tear the last 30 days. Having an 886 OPS, and the fact he's in a group with Ohtani and Pico Armstrong, with the only players in MLB with at least 75 runs driven in, 15 stolen bases, and an OPS over 800. Like,
Pretty company.
a lot of people were clowning the Dbacks about signing him to that extension at the beginning of the year. Most people that don't follow this team are like, who is Perdomo and why is he getting this extension?
The only people outside of the D-backs that knew who he was were Mets fans, and they were just salty that he was an all-star
Yeah.
and Lindor wasn't a few years ago.
Yeah, like, that's like, and he has played so well this year. I think he's only going to do better. I still feel really good about my preseason prediction of him hitting 15 home runs. He's at 11, right? It's 11 or 12 right now.
And
So
25 doubles too. He's been a doubles
yeah,
machine this year.
dude, yeah. Like it's every time he comes up, it's like a 5 pitch at bat. Like when there's 2 strikes, I'm like, it's not over yet. It's not. Like he's gonna foul off like 2 or 3 pitches. So, really, really great there to see. Fought like he threw strikes, but they were so many hittable strikes. Like he got singled to death in this game.
Yeah. He
Like
pulled
that.
these out and just left stuff over the middle.
I'm like, okay, you're throwing strikes, but can you make them non-hittable strikes? Like that. Like that's what you need to do. I don't know if you watched the TV broadcast, but they had Burns in the booth for like 2 innings. It was really great to kind of just hear him kind of talk about how things are going. He is out of the brace after Tommy John, so that was really great to see. He goes to the stadium about twice a week. His daily rehab at Salt River is like 4 to 5 hours every day. So like it's his second home basically. So I thought really really good. Also like I can't wait to see how Blaze continues to improve because he is really playing well since he started playing every day. He has an OPS over 1,000, 12 to 31, like 2 homers, 2 doubles, 7
Pretty
runs.
solid on defense too.
Yeah, like he had
It's
one
not
play.
perfect. A few here and there where you're like, damn, but I think it's just because again, I don't think he's played third base a bunch, to where I think he's still kind of like getting a little bit more used to the position, or at least used to the position full time MLB.
Red Sox Nation, there's no chance that they DFA him.
Paven has no
Absol-
options.
Absolutely no shot that they do that. Because I think, like Brett said, they want to get something back for him. So if they're going to not have him be on the active roster, trust me, I don't want him up there because I don't want him to take at bats away from Locklear and ADC. I really feel like it's going to hurt the team. Like, maybe his struggles before he got hurt were because of an injury. I don't know. I don't know. Like, for me, I've always said that Paven is not good at anything. He's average at everything.
That's a great way to put it.
Like he doesn't do one thing outstanding. Everything he's league average at. Like if he could just choose one thing to be good at, be like a really good contact hitter or a really good power hitter, but he strikes out a lot or doesn't have an arm or plays good defense. All of that stuff is just, to me, he's league average at it. So, like, if you want to put him in the 7 spot, I'm fine with that. I do not. He plays the bench really well.
I think Paven would be another good, like, kind of like how Gabe says about Herrera. I think Paven would be, like, a good coach at some point.
Yeah.
I think he's got a good, like, baseball mind. Again,
I think he's good in the clubhouse.
The only thing he's good at is pitch recognition. I think he's really he's kind of like Domo, where like I think he knows the strike zone really well. It's just does he actually put good contact on the balls that he decides to swing at? That's a different a different scenario.
His chase rate though is way higher than Domo's. That's the thing. Like if Domo chased and struck out a lot, I don't think I would like how good his pitch recognition is. But Domo doesn't strike out a lot. Either he makes contact and fouls it off, stays alive. So, yeah, that's my big worry is that, I mean, Locklear hasn't really played that great outside the one game this week where he hit his home run. So maybe he does need a couple days off. They don't have anyone else to play first right now. So Locklear literally has to play every day, which I like. And it's the same thing with Blaze playing third. I like, at this point, like, playoffs really aren't on the table. Like, if we're being serious, like, yeah, it's fun to joke about that. Yeah, technically they're not eliminated, so there is a shot, but there's a lot that would have to happen. So, like, if they want to, have Blaze learn at the major league level day in and day out, then I'm fine with it right now. we'll see if he continues to do this, and we'll see what the team does when Lawler is healthy. There was a report also that came out the other day that Gabby should be back with the team healthy by the next homestand, which will be a week from tomorrow.
So I guess we got to enjoy James McCann while he's here because Jose and Pavin are the two guys that no matter how bad they play, they're just never gonna fucking get rid of them, unfortunately. But staying on the topic of Perdomo, just because I was looking at some of his stats here, obviously he's making the team very happy with the contract they gave him. He's having a career year like all around. Like his highest OPS on his career was in 2021 and only like 37 plate appearances at 798. But even last year he had a 718. He had a 374 slugging. That was a career high. He had a 344 on base percentage. He's and a 273 batting average. He's already maybe not blowing all of them out of the water, but this year he has an 812, so almost 100 points higher on just the OPS. His slugging is at 429, so around like 60 something points higher. His on base percentage is around 40 points higher. His batting average is 10 points higher. And then the thing that was really interesting to me because I was looking at his strikeouts. One, we have our own little Tony Gwynn. He has 69 walks, nice, to 55 strikeouts. Last year, he had 58 strikeouts, and again, he missed a bunch of time with injury. So he had 58 strikeouts in 388 plate appearances last year, where this year he has 55 in 512. And again, more than double the amount of walks. Obviously, yes, the more plate appearances, but the strikeout number alone on that thing is super impressive, especially looking back on even in 22. In 2022, he had 500 plate appearances. He struck out 103 times. Again, that was a year where he looked pretty rough. 195 average. He had a 547 OPS plus. So that year he was not a very good hitter at all. But again, going from 103 strikeouts in 500 plate appearances to 55 in 512, it's night and day difference. Like he's having an amazing year this year. He has a 4.3 F4. He has like a 3.8 B WAR. He's having a career year, and it's just nice to see, man. Like probably I'd say a lot of favorites. Just leader of the team in the clubhouse. Got just a great energy about him. I don't think he's ever upset. Like yeah, if he does something wrong, maybe misses a pitch right down the middle, he might be mad at the moment, but he's never like looking like he's down. He always looks like he has an absolute smile on his face, and I'm glad. I think I need to get myself a Perdomo jersey soon, if I'm being completely honest.
He's missed 2 games all year, by the way. So he's just like he's there day in and day out. Um, so yeah, like the fact is he's probably gonna finish with a 4 WAR, which is just like double what he had in 23.
Depending on which narrative war you want to go with, he already has over a 4 WAR. If you want to look at his F WAR, which F4 takes a little bit more of I think defense into the. I think F4 looks a little bit more at like defense, whereas I think B WAR has a little bit more of. I think it focuses heavily on more of like offense, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I don't know the exact difference between.
Why can't there be a clear-cut calculation to what WAR is, so it's the same across the board?
It's again, I think one just focuses more on defense, and the other one is like no, but hitting is more important. Which again, I can see both sides to it, but yeah, Domo's been killing it, man.
I wonder what the chances are. I'd have to look at this of him getting the Silver Slugger for shortstop.
Let me check. I think Trey Turner might.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right. Trey Turner's probably gonna get it. I think he's better than Ellie. People say, well, what about the home runs and stolen bases?
Let me check shortstop. So, if you look at all shortstops in baseball, in home runs, obviously he's only at like 11, so he's not like, higher in the league. It's funny, Mookie Betts has 12 home runs and Perdomo has 11. I know Mookie Betts is having a very rough career, or almost career worst year this year. But I mean, he's second in baseball in RBIs, and he's first in the National League. Ellie De La Cruz is 2 behind him. Francisco Lindor's at 64. So Perdomo has 76 RBI, Ellie has 74. Bobblehead, who's having a very good year for the Blue Jays, good reason why they're leading the East. He has 78 RBIs. But looking at their on-base percentage, he leads all of shortstops in baseball in on-base percentage. Slugging percentage-wise, he is top 10 in baseball. I think let's see, C.J. Abrams is above him. Ellie is above him. So he's third in the National League in slugging when it comes to shortstops. With Trey Turner is right behind him at 427. Dome has a 430. But then OPS in general, he is sixth in all of baseball. He is the second. So Ellie De La Cruz and Trey Turner are probably the two that have the best chance to beat him in Silver Slugger. Even C.J. Abrams has a pretty solid case. But I mean, he has 25 doubles where Xander Bogaerts has 25 as well, and CJ Abrams is 25. So I think it's going to be between four different guys for a Silver Slugger, but Perdomo has a really interesting case. Again, he's pretty high up there, like top five in a lot of stats when it comes to strikeouts or when it comes to league leaders for shortstops. But looking at the strikeouts, it's insane, man. He has the 24 when it go like if you're filtering by least amount of strikeouts, so many of these guys have like under 100 at bats. So until you get to like 16, like Jacob Wilson has 31, Colson Montgomery has 34, Ryan Ritter has 35. A lot of those guys, Jacob Wilson is probably the most of those guys mentioned, but Mookie Betts has 53, and then Perdomo has 56. Like he just doesn't swing and miss. He is just an elite shortstop, and I'm glad that we have him locked down for many many years going forward. And especially
Yeah.
at the price, 45 million over 4 years on that extension. That is good lord. Money moves, Hazen. Money moves.
I think so. His I was looking. I don't know if this is an actual calculation, but his WAR just from defense is .4, and the only ones that are really above him is Joey Ortiz. From the everyone else that's higher, they haven't played as much. Like anyone else, like Tovar from the Rockies has played half the amount of innings that Perdomo did.
It's crazy to see how much again he's stepped up offense and taking a little bit of step behind on defense because again last year in only 388 his defensive WAR, he had a 1.7 defensive WAR last year. This is off of just going off of Baseball Reference, so again it's gonna be a little bit different. But looking at the value in batting and whatnot, yeah, defensive wins above replacement. He is at a 1.7 last year, but a .4 this year. But his offensive wins above replacement, he was 2.4 last year, and he's at a 4.2 this year. So it's again taking a little bit of the defense away with it, but he's still a very good defensive shortstop and one of the best, I'd say, like top 3, top 5 shortstop hitting.
I don't think he's gonna get Gold Glove. There's really, if you look at it, shortstop in the National League for Gold Glove is kind of a top. It is there's no one that's really jumping out. So
maybe he does.
who knows?
Probably gonna give it
that
to
would be so.
Ellie or Lindor.
Even though Ellie has 6 more errors than he does. Perdomo, in terms of fielding percentage, is 977. Ellie is at 961. Ellie has 16 errors.
Jesus.
So, yeah. Perdomo only has 10, which he's played over 1,000 innings at shortstop. 10's not that bad.
No, not at all. Honestly.
So, yeah, just it's going to be interesting to see. Because I think he's a top 5 shortstop in Major League Baseball. I personally think that he, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, Lindor's better." That's by name recognition, but if you actually go and look, who actually helps the team more, I personally think Perdomo is more valuable to his team. So we'll just have to wait and see what goes there, but. I love watching. He just plays the right way.
He's also a clutch hitter. Just looking because I'm having some fun with some splits. Which if everyone's wondering how you can look at certain splits times and all that, if you go to Fangraphs, you go down to splits tool, you can pretty much play with anything. You can literally go the weather, the ballpark type, whether it's outdoor, fixed dome, retractable roof, all that shit. Looking at his high leverage numbers, again only 53 plate appearances, but still it's not the tiniest. If everyone's gonna call Jordan Lawler a bust over 50 fucking plate appearances, I'm gonna look at 53 plate appearances with Perdomo here in high leverage. He's hitting 310 with a 423 on base and a 476 slug for a 899 OPS, and that is with, again, high leverage situations, is a 153 WRC plus. So it's very nice to see. And again, consider that with I know we're always going back to him, but going back to Pavin Smith, guy that doesn't do too well in high leverage situations, but it's just nice to see, especially like even looking at his runners in scoring position this year. He has 151 plate appearances. He's hitting 333, 396, 500 with an 896 OPS and a 143 WRC plus. So he is. I know we call him the Risp King. He has the clutch gene in his blood. Not only is his blood ice cold like a frog, his blood is filled with the clutch gene.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and as Disruptive said, yeah, everyone has Lawler at a bust, and he's like, I can't stand it. I'm like, can we at least let him get 150 at bats first? Like, I know everyone was like, but he can't hit the curveball. What if it's because he hasn't seen it enough at the major league level? Like,
He's like
take a look at,
like 20 pitches a week, and 8 of them are curveballs.
and like, we're just talking about Perdomo. How did he looked awful in 2022? Again, I know he was not a first round draft pick, so the expectations are different. But I personally think we need to give him a chance, like Lawler a chance. I don't even know if the team wants to give him a chance. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even looking at
we'll
it, dude,
just
Perdomo is 25 and Lawler's 23. He was born in 2002. He's 23 years old. Like he's hasn't had consistent playing time. Even like Brandon said, it's a great point. Like Perdomo was his ass in 2022, but he learned, he adjusted. He's now playing pretty well. And I know I bring it up all the time. Mike Trout. I don't think anybody remembers. I age myself. I remember being like, I remember at my grandma's hanging out with her in her condo back when ESPN and Baseball Tonight were actually things. Seeing on the thing like, oh yeah, Mike Trout, called up to make his major league debut. Angels calling up their top prospect, and I think he was baseball's #1 prospect at the time. And he was ass. Like he had in his first season, I think 120 something at bats. He was not good. He was horrible. Like they sent him back down because he just had a big swing and miss issue. He made some mental mistakes here and there. He just couldn't. I think he had another kind of issue, kind of like Lawler, kind of like Pedro Serrano. He just could not hit the curveball. But both all Mike Trout and Serrano had to do was pray to Jobu. Apparently Lawler just needs to do that too. I'm sorry, too many major league jokes. But like
no such thing.
And again, Mike Trout is.
Too many
I'm not
jokes.
trying to say that. I mean, you got to get a point. And I'm not trying to say that Jordan Lawler's Mike Trout. Again, nobody's Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a generational talent. We've seen guys all the time that were supposed to be highly touted prospects that don't pan out too well. But it's just an example that like, hey, Mike Trout wasn't always Mike Trout. Mike Trout was a struggling young prospect. Then even like Josh is bringing up in the chat here, Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson was, I think, let go from the Expos, or like they traded him away because he just had too much of a walk problem. Kind of like how the Dbacks traded away fucking Max Scherzer because he was too wild. God damn it, that still pisses me off. Sorry, side tangent. Aaron Judge wasn't the
That's
greatest.
gonna piss you off until the day you die.
Literally, dude, I remember like watching his debut, like this guy's really good, and we traded him. I'm gonna look up who the fuck we traded him for because it still pisses me off the return that we got for him. Yeah, so in 2009, the D-backs traded Max Scherzer to the Detroit Tigers and part of the three-team deal that included the Yankees. The D-backs got Edwin Jackson and Ian Kennedy. So, like, yes, Ian Kennedy was solid for us in 2011. The Ian Kennedy stomp, but he had one really solid year. Edwin Jackson, other than the no-hitter, what does he do for the D-backs? Where Max Scherzer is a Hall of Fame pitcher and is, pretty crazy. But like we also gave up Daniel Schlereth, that was nothing. But just in general, like I cannot believe we gave up Max Scherzer for those two. That like maybe at the time a year or two after, but sorry, very side tangent. But yeah, saying everyone isn't always going to be all-star Hall of Fame caliber player right off at the major league level. Like we got spoiled with Corbin Carroll. We're not going to see that all the time. Some guys like even we talked about here with Blaze Alexander.
He's the exception.
He's the exception, not the rule. Like Blaze Alexander, once he's finally getting some playing time, even last year when he was called up, very sporadic. Even in 2023, very sporadic. Didn't get too much time here and there. Injuries and all that kind of hampered it a little bit. When you actually get some consistent playing time and you don't have to worry about like, oh, I need to get a hit here or there, or I'm going to get sent down. Oh, I need to do this here and there, or I'm going to get dropped in the order. If you can just be like, hey, you're slotted in every day, you're playing, go do your thing, get comfortable, you can actually play at the standard you can play at. That's what we're seeing from Blaze, that we're hopefully seeing from ADC, and hopefully we'll see from Jordan Lawler. And again, yes, I have a Jordan Lawler collection in cards. I know that I'm a little bit financially tied up into him, but that's besides the point, okay? He's young. He's only had 50 fucking plate appearances. Let him actually get, a little more seasoning under his belt before you guys call him a bust, because that pisses me off the most about this fan base.
It's even if when he's healthy they bring him up, people say, he went 0 for 3 in his first game. He's done. It's just like I think there's people that do not want him to succeed. Yeah. They don't. They just straight up have made their mind. They're like, I have to be right about Jordan Lawler, so I do not want him to succeed, which just blows my mind. I'm like right if you're not
Smith, but
no, see, that's different because we have a large sample size on Pavin Smith. Lawler, we have, I don't know, 600-700 at bats to see Pavin Smith. We have 50 on Jordan Lawler. So, it's just people that they want their take to be right so bad that they're okay with seeing the player struggle and the team struggle. I'll never get it.
No, but I know we've been going on kind of a side tangent here, but yes, just I guess circling back to the original point, Perdomo, absolute stud. Nice to see him kind of blossom into the hitter or the player that we're seeing him as. Because again, he's only 25 as well. He's gonna hopefully be just now reaching his prime, or at least starting the climb into his prime. Shout out Miley Cyrus, it's a climb. Sorry, had had to do that on that thing, but. Before we move on into our series preview, was there anything else that you wanted to kind of touch on here in regards to this series sweep over the Colorado Rockies? Maybe somebody else that stood out in the series that we didn't give enough time to. Again, I know Lourdes has been really solid. He had that walk-off. But again, I think because he's such a streaky player, I want to see it for a little bit longer before we're like, oh, Lourdes, my man, you're our true Lourdes and savior.
No. I think we really covered everything there. I love talking about Jerry. He's just you can tell he's having fun because he's in the dugout, he's joking around, but then also you'll see times where he's talking to Tori and stuff. One other thing. I don't know if you watched the TV broadcast today. Carroll got removed late in the game because we were up by a bunch. He sat down next to Tori for at least 5 minutes as Tori was it looked like Tori took a toy away from Carroll. You could tell Carroll hates to be removed from the game. I'm oh my God. Reasons. No. Which it wasn't. We were up 13 to 3 at that point. So I'm yeah, I get first he took out Marte. Then Carroll had one more at bat, so we removed Carroll. And I'm Carroll, we're up by 6 or 7. There's no reason to risk you pulling a hammy because of how incredibly fast that you run. I'm surprised that hasn't happened. Let me knock on my desk 6 million times.
If we need to clip this in a few weeks, I will not let you live it down. I was even telling people on my works live stream, because I sold a Luis Arias card, and I was bringing up, I was yeah, my buddy said that this guy's better than Ketel Marte last year, and I still don't let him live it down. I will not let you live this down if something happens to Corbin's hammy.
You know what? Our struggles this year, I sort of blame it on you.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Because I was the one that prayed for the
Dodgers. Whole thing you did about the Dodgers and their arm, bro, that one, I don't give you shit for it that much. So
I deserve it though.
Yeah. But what are the I know everyone's it's all on Kaplan. No, it's not. It's not all on him. It's partially on him. I will say that, but I think all of the team struggles this year is there's so many different factors that caused it. It's Kaplan, it's Tori, it's Hazen, it's the training staff. There's so you can't just say, "Oh, remove our trainers and this doesn't happen," or Kaplan's not our pitching coach. This doesn't. I don't agree with that. I think it's multiple things.
Fully. I think we're on the same page there. That there's a lot of things. Yes, there's a few that are easy to fully point the finger at, especially the new guy in the pitching department. But it's not. He's not the one that went in there actually made their arms explode. But It's sometimes that's what you do as humans, as sports fans. You got to figure out somebody to be the
Cope.
fall guy. Yeah, you got to cope. You got to have somebody be the fall guy, and that's Kaplan. But because we're talking about Corbin, one more quick tangent before we move on to a series preview. I was telling Brandon about it before the show. Obviously, I have an absolute problem. I love getting hats. I got two more this weekend from Just Sports. But when I was at Just Sports, I was walking around. They literally just have a hat that just says Corbin Carroll. It's literally like Corbin in like block font, and then in like cursive writing underneath it in like a little bit bigger, it's Carroll. So if anybody wants just a Corbin Carroll hat, it doesn't have any D-backs logos on it anywhere. There's no D-backs logo. It just says Corbin Carroll, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Who knows? In a few weeks, I might go back and get one. But Brandon talking about Corbin Carroll just kind of made me think about that again because I thought that was the most hilarious design for a hat. And they know that there's some fans out there like myself that are, some sick twisted. Yeah, not a sponsored ad, no free ads, but definitely a fun design. That I saw while I was once again feeding my addiction to hats. But moving on here, obviously the D-backs swept the Rockies. That was the worst team in baseball. They go from facing them to a team who is in playoff contention, who were buyers at the deadline, and actually did buy one of the D-backs from one of the D-backs players. They're going to face the Texas Rangers, which I still have Vietnam flashbacks to, and I it's gonna be tough watching that game because anytime I even see highlights of that goddamn ballpark, I just start having just
I get triggered, dude.
I literally get
A
triggered
swing
so
and a
goddamn easily.
drive.
Oh fuck me! Oh good lord. Okay, all right. But looking on into our series matchup, it's gonna be pretty tough because D-backs in game one, it's gonna be Ryan Nelson, who's 6-3 with a 3.20 ERA. This is actually gonna be a really fun pitching matchup because he's going up against Nathan Eovaldi, who's been really solid. Another thing. Thank God the Dodgers traded him away. I don't know if anybody remembers. He was also a former Dodger prospect. I believe he was traded to the Marlins in I think the Hanley Ramirez deal years ago. So nice to see him not in the Dodger blue, but he is killing it this year. He is 10-3 with a 1.38 ERA. He's been a really really solid signing and an efficient pitcher, and who knows, maybe when he's a free agent, if the D-backs can try to bring him to the desert, that'd be a fun arm to add. But that's the game one matchup. Game two is going to be Disco Fani, who's 1-2 with the 4.20
You
ERA.
know who he was traded with?
Who?
You won't believe who he was traded with.
It was with
Scott McGuff.
Oh my god!
Scott McGuff.
Oh my god! Was it in the Hanley? Was it in the Hanley deal though? Was I right in that?
Yes.
One? Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, it was. That just makes me laugh. Scott
Lord.
McGuff
Scott
was
McGuff
in that
was a former
trade with
Dodger
him.
prospect. Oh, fuck me. Another one that ages me because I remember seeing that trade go down when I was still in fucking high school. But DeSclafani in game two, 1-2, 4.20 ERA, going up against a former top draft pick, Jack Leiter, who's 7-6 with a 4.05 ERA. He was so fun to watch at Vanderbilt, man. I'm glad. I hope he doesn't get to that form in this series, but I hope he gets to that form at some point in his career because he is a very fun arm to watch. And then game three is going to be one that I think is going to be tough for a lot of D-backs fans because not only are we going to get to see Zach Gallen go up against a good offense, he's 9-12 with the 5.31 ERA, but he is going to be matched up against Merrill Kelly, our former mainstay, who's making, I believe, his third start as a Ranger. He's 9-7 with a 3.38 ERA. So that'll be a bittersweet thing going on. I know we're going to see a lot of posts, especially like players, hugging each other, doing all that pregame. You don't see too much of pitchers because usually, pitchers are kind of like in their own zone doing their warm-ups. But that'll be bittersweet. Again, hopefully we can at least win 2 or 3 here. I think our best shot is going to be in games 2 and 3 because, again, Eovaldi's a really tough pitcher. Maybe we can get to him. I'm not too sure. But either way, this is going to be a big series again. I know playoffs are probably way out of reach. Getting crazier things have happened. If they at least win the series, or even if they somehow sweep the series, I think we're so fucking back. I think we've never been more back, and playoffs are so back on the menu, boys. But again, that's a pipe dream. That's nothing but copium. Brandon, what are some predictions that you might have for the series? Maybe some matchups that you're going to be keeping an eye on? Because obviously, I think for a lot of us, is going to be the Gallen and Merrill Kelly matchup in Game 3. For me personally, I think I'm going to be interested to seeing. I know we talked about him after the last series, but Alec Thomas again, he's still been swinging pretty well, so it'd be nice to see him going up against some pretty tough pitchers because he's facing 3 righties, so he should be starting in every single game, and especially being in a big ballpark like that in Texas, we should hopefully see Alec. Patrolling and making some pretty solid plays. But what's some matchups and maybe some potential predictions you have on this upcoming Ranger series that we have?
I think Corey Seager's gonna hit a nuke against Gallen in Game 3. I'm sorry, I don't know. the amount of homers that Gallen has given up, and the fact that Corey Seager owns us in Texas, I think it's probably most likely going to happen. DeSclafani, I talked about this on our last show. This next start, I want to see which version are we getting? The one against the A's that had the jitters early on and struggled, or the one that almost made it through 5 and would have gone longer if not on a pitch count. So I'm wondering, because his last one they were at 70. I'm wondering if they're gonna bump him up to 80 in this one. Um, like depending on how he pitches the rest of the year, maybe they bring him back because we know that they're cutting payroll and they're going to be without a lot of starting pitchers. And are they ready with some of these young guys to bring them up? If not, DeSclafani could be a solid number 5. Um, and kind of like you said, we're facing all righties, so you know who else should be playing all 3 games? ADC. ADC should be the starting DH of all 3 games. Because he's played really well the last 2 games. Like, yeah, I know he struggled before that, but I'm like, it's because he didn't play for 3 or 4 days at a time, a week at a time. So, I think we're gonna see a major pitcher's duel tomorrow with Nelson and Evaldi. Because Nelson has been just dominant every start, just absolutely dominant. Kelly hasn't looked that great in his first 2 starts for Texas. Now he did play Seattle and Philly, so those are really good offenses.
And he always seems
Like
to, outside of the NLCS, he always seems to kind of struggle against the Phillies in some of his starts.
yeah,
Gets touched up a little
yeah,
bit. Yeah,
like
big,
he's
big hot
gone.
Jock is something gonna how go yard, as Josh says.
Yeah, Jock has actually played pretty well lately. So yeah, he's gone 10 innings in his 2 combined 2 starts. He's given up 6 runs though. So Kelly, I love you, but I think our boys need to go up hard against you.
Pause.
So we'll just
Pause.
um,
Is there a pause in there?
pause.
They're
But
just
no,
gonna
like
go, just gonna go for the play just absolutely fully torqued.
I kind of did a joke about it in our promo tweet for the stream, saying playoffs are back on. We gained 3 games in the wild card because the Mets lost 3 in a row to the Brewers. So we went from 9 games back to 6 games back. And Jack Summers put out a tweet saying like how many games back do the D-backs have to be for you to really consider it? I said if they can get 3 games back by September 1st, September could be very interesting. Because gaining 3 games in a month is very doable. I just, we have to get back to 500 first. Like, that's the big one. We're still 4 games back of 500. And I still said it. If they can get to 75, 80 wins, I won't consider this a major disappointment of a season, but definitely a letdown.
Especially considering they were sellers at the deadline. If they do end up winning that many games, I think that it would still be a disappointing season, just in the fact that obviously they had to be sellers. They, if they do miss the playoffs, they miss the playoffs. But just taking the entire season in itself as a whole, kind of looking at every aspect of it, I do agree. I don't think it'd be, kind of like I were talking about a little while ago. We're like, oh, is this the most disappointing season in a long time? I think it would definitely suck, and it'd be one of those where I'm like, damn. But I think it'd be one of those where it's like, the first 4 months of the season, yeah, the most disappointing. But the last 2 gave us some hope that who knows, maybe 2026 the D-backs can get back to chaos ball and play well without expectations.
Expectations with this team is so weird. We've talked about it. When they have expectations, they just don't live up to it. But when no one gives them a shot or nobody cares, for whatever reason, they play better. I don't understand it. I just
Even in
they have
preseason
to
football,
vault.
the Cardinals are finally getting hyped up, and Kyler Murray throws the most god-awful interception I've seen.
Okay, I will say this. So there's a clip where he's actually looking in the center of he tried to make a no-look pass.
At least you're going to do it in preseason and not the regular season.
Yeah, I'm like, it's freaking preseason. Why are we making this a big deal? Oh, Cardinals aren't making the playoffs with Kyler. It's one preseason game. I get y'all love the NFL, but calm down, man.
Yeah.
Now, kind of getting back on topic, like for this team to make the playoffs, they have to vault the Giants, the Cardinals, the Reds,
And the Marlins.
and the Mets.
Oh man,
Actually, we are ahead of the Marlins right now, even though we have identical record.
we just need them to lose.
But
I think it's because we have the season series over them, which
correct.
somehow. Well, no, because did we sweep them or did we get swept by them?
Josh, you are not wrong on that one. Sam Levitt is without it. Like I'm probably more excited for ASU football than Cardinals football this year.
Yeah,
Charles, weekly NFL overreactions are back.
How long until Bickley calls Marvin or Kyler soft? Which, speaking of, I'm surprised he didn't find a way to justify calling Cattell Marte soft for putting his mom on his bat this weekend. Because I know that.
Wait till Monday. He probably didn't hear about it until after his show on Friday. Wait till Monday, or he'll bring up, oh, Carroll is soft because he got taken out of the game on Sunday.
Watch him actually say some kind of comment about the Lourdes, our Lourdes and Savior, and him be a salty motherfucker about it. Just go to Chicago, please continue being a sad Bears fan and let everyone else here in Arizona deal with, the rest of the shitty media. Don't be part of it. But yeah, like Brandon said, getting back on topic at least. Yeah, say the playoffs aren't necessarily out of the picture. They just need to start playing better than I think they have been at late, and this is a good start again. Yes, it's the Rockies. Got to be a big caveat with that because it is the fucking 80 loss. The Rockies are almost at 90 losses. We're not even in September yet.
They're on pace though to finish one game better than the White Sox last year.
Yeah. So like the rest of, like Brandon said about the if they can even get the 3 games back or just in general, if they can at least get to 500, the final stretch of this month is going to be the biggest key. Because we have 3 against the Rangers, then we have 4 against the Rockies in Coors Field. We all know that's always a hellhole. So even if they split, whatever it is, but if we can even win the series or sweep there, that'd be huge. Then we come back home. We have 3 against the Guardians and then 3 against the Reds. And then we finish the month on the road with 4 against the Brewers, who are absolutely on fire right now. They have a 6-game lead in the NL Central. They've won 9 in a row, so they're going to be a tough matchup. And then we have 3 in LA to end off the month. So again, it's a tough task. It's a tall order. But these next, let me see, do the math here. 13 games, these next 13 games to finish off the month here will be the key deciding factor in whether or not, is it 13? Let me do the math here really quick.
3, 4, and 3, 3. So 13,
20, like 20, I think.
Oh, okay.
We're not a math pod over here, all right? I failed accounting 5 times in college. Give me a break. But yeah, this will be a big test to see if they can actually give us a little bit more hope. And like Brandon said, if they can get 3 games back in the beginning of September, it's gonna be a very interesting September. Again, I know it's very different teams, but hey, the Cardinals, when they had their Devil Magic run in 2011, they were 11 games back at the beginning of September, and they ended up coming all the way back and making the wild card. So again, it's not out of the question.
First goal, get back to 500. Because right now the Giants are at 500. They're 4 back. So like if we're at 500 at September 1st and it's still 3 to 4 games back, like we've seen crazy things happen.
Exactly.
I wouldn't feel great with his bullpen in the playoffs. That's for damn
Yeah, no. And then even their final stretch of games in the end of the season, it's pretty tough because we have I think we're facing over 5. Every single team we face is either at 500 or over, except for the Minnesota Twins. We have 3 against the Rangers, 3 against the Red Sox, and they're trending in a positive direction to make the playoffs. Then we have 3 more in San Francisco. We have 3 in Minnesota, which we just don't seem to play well there. Then we have 3 more at home against the Giants, 3 at home against the Phillies, and then we have 3 at home against the Dodgers, and then we end the season in San Diego. So our final 9 games are going to be a gauntlet. So that, again, whether or not we even are in position to kind of do anything, they're going to September, they're going to need to keep the momentum for the rest of the season going forward because the final month is a pretty tough schedule, if I'm being completely honest. This is the easiest part of the schedule here with the the Rockies, the Guardians, and then like the Reds, like the Reds are over 500, so they're no cakewalk. And we obviously got swept by them in fucking Cincinnati, so definitely got to do what we can and just take care of business. And make sure that we can at least have a little bit of copium going into the
If
the
they
end of
don't
September.
make it though, they could be a real thorn in the side to LA and San Diego that last week
Yeah,
because of
dude,
our
the
final six
Dodgers and
games.
Padres are only 2 games separated from each other in the first. So while I want the Padres to still stay ringless bums in San Diego in their nice ballpark, I would be okay if they win the division and still don't win a World Series. It'd just be nice. Dodgers don't win the division finally. Padres still lose. We get to hear all their fans cry online. Other than you, Brandon, I know you're a Padres fan on the side too.
Padres play the Dodgers 6 times the next 2 weeks. They go
Woo.
three against the Giants, three against the Dodgers, then three against the Giants, three against. So I think their season will be dictated by that 12-game stretch for them. So um, yeah, like it's always weird. I'm like, do we hate the Padres or the Dodgers more? Like, who do you want to see fail more? Dodgers or Padres? For you, I think it's leaning more towards San Diego because of how toxic the vocal fan base is. Like,
Yeah,
it's not all Padres fans. It's just
yeah.
the vocal bunch on social media is, and I don't disagree with you, it is toxic. I'm like, where did you guys come from? Like,
They
I've
definitely
been
weren't
a
there before
Padres fan.
2020.
Yeah, like, trust me, before 2020, like the late 2010s, they were chill. It's because they were terrible. They just didn't care, and they got the sniff of the playoffs, and all these fans got cocky. And trust me, I've been a Padres fan since 94, 95. So yeah, I've seen
You've gone
the.
through the thick of things.
Yeah, I definitely have.
You have 2 World Series heartbreaks under your belt, one for each team. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Dbacks in 23 hurts more because they
Yeah,
actually won a game. 98, the Padres went up against a juggernaut in that 98 Yankees team.
like the
That team
literally
was,
the greatest dynasty in baseball history.
yeah. So,
But yeah, it'll definitely be a fun final month and a half here as the season winds on down. As long as they give us something enjoyable to watch, we don't have to worry about, worrying about draft pick position. I'm very okay with it. But again, we appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning on in here. Again, whether you're in the live chat on YouTube or if you were listening to us after the fact on the replay, or even if you're on Apple, Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast, we appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning on in here. Um, any final thoughts, Brandon, before we get on out of here?
just have fun enjoying this team. It's like there's gonna be some hiccups, there's gonna be some growing pains, but I'm really liking what we're seeing with a lot of them giving these young guys a shot. I like Hoffman's looked really good. Burgos, I'm wondering how long they're gonna keep him up. Um, can we DFA Jake Woodford and just bring up Garcia? Like, I know Garcia's not a long guy. That's the only reason that Woodford is there, but I cannot stand watching Jake Woodford pitch. I just
Seriously,
can't.
it's
I
gonna
would
be
love to see in September call ups Tommy Troy or Christian Robinson. I would love to see that.
that'd be pretty hot. That'd be nice to see them get some time under their belt because especially K Rob, man, we've been waiting for K Rob for around like 5 6 years. So to see him finally kind of make up to the MLB after what he's been through would be a great story. But yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting time, and I do agree. Get rid of Woodford, please. Just bring up some of the young guns. Give us something fun to watch for the next year. But as Josh says, I'm not gonna say the first one, but go Snakes, go Devils, go to sleep. Appreciate each and one of you guys for tuning on in here. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. While you're on Twitter, make sure you join the Discord. If you have not already joined the Discord, it's free. It's in the description. It's our free tweet. It's also in the description on this video below. Then you don't got to pay a single cent to join on in there. And then make sure you guys go on over to azsnakepit.com. Like I said, great articles. We have written content over there as well. Pretty much some written content for any kind of thing that any baseball fan, especially Dbacks fan, would enjoy. The Snake Pit has it, so you guys want to make sure you go over there. But we'll see you guys on either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what our schedules are looking like, as hopefully the full trio
It's
will
gonna
be
have to be Wednesday because they play on Thursday.
Oh, true. So we'll see you guys Wednesday night after the D-backs wrap up their series against Rangers. Fingers crossed that we at least win the series if we can even somehow sweep with the matchups that we got going on. Then I think the energy will be so back. We've never been more back. But again, we'll have to wait and see. We appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning on in here. You have a fantastic rest of your Sunday night and a great start to your guys' week. We'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
our back, bringing it all. Fastballs hum, the bats ignite. 9 innings deep, we fight all night. Wins and losses, highs and lows, we break it down, yeah, that's how it goes. Dbacks dispatch, turn it up loud.